Hey everybody, welcome to Big Hair Gaming. We're back here with another video. We're covering our favorite game, Last War. And today we're going to talk a bit about the legendary statues that are available, and more specifically about the options that come to us through the Legendary Decoration Chest 2, and kind of like what my recommended picks are to prioritize from this set. As well as some general other stuff as well. So this topic comes to us by a prompt from one of my alliance mates who asked if I had any opinions about like the boxes. They had just gotten one and kind of what to prioritize. So what they had initially postulated was that they wanted to do just like pick a single decoration and kind of drill down into it to get some of those larger buffs. The more levels that you have in a decoration, the better, the more powerful the power increase that you get from it is going to be. And in short, I kind of disagreed and kind of made another recommendation. But before we get into that, I wanted to say thanks a whole bunch. We recently hit 100 subscribers. I want to thank everybody for watching and sharing and commenting and doing all that kinds of stuff. I started this video channel and I guess like this series. It's just a way to share strategies with my alliance and some other folks who were also coming up on similar content. As we came into season 1, there were a lot of folks who were confused about certain things that weren't so obvious. Additionally, we had started to develop some strategies that was just like too difficult to communicate through the in-game chat system. And so this also started to help to serve as kind of a way to kind of teach people about different mechanics and show people different stuff that maybe they had missed or stuff like that, and just kind of talk about the game in general. And it's been a lot of fun. I've been enjoying reading the comments that people are leaving. There were some really good comments on the shop video for ways to improve and some ways that people disagreed. Which helped refine my own understanding of the game and gave me some good ideas. So it's been really beneficial, and I'm really enjoying it, and I hope to keep doing it. So yeah, I want to just thank you guys for the 100 subscribers, and I hope you keep watching, and I hope the quality of videos keeps going up and all that sorts of stuff. So real quick, before we dig into the whole thing, for folks who are a bit newer to the game, just a quick overview of statues and kind of how they work and what they do. Basically, you'll get these statues that will grant you some kind of power increase. So this might be, for example, this one does a hero attack increase. It might be hero defense. There's HP, skill damage increase, so on and so forth. There's a bunch of different vectors by which you can increase your power. So through that, basically that's kind of what they all do. Some of them will have multiple stat buffs. A lot of the early statues, I believe, only tend to have one. And then the other way that you can increase the power level is, aside from just having duplicates of the statues themselves, you get the opportunity to at some point buy universal decor components, which I'll just call UDC for short. And the ratio of a statue to UDC currency is 130 to 1. So for every 130 that you have, that'll grant you one statue. So for example, I already have one statue of this golden missile statue. So in order to supplement having another 5, I would need 650 UDC. And that's pretty much how that works. So real quick before we continue, I want to say, if this video helps you out, if it gives you some ideas, changes your perspective, any of that kind of stuff, feel free to like and subscribe. Definitely appreciate it. Appreciate the help. So moving on. So getting into breadth versus depth. So what my alliance mate had asked, should they just drill down on one statue to try to get those big buffs, especially like for stuff that increases your HP or stuff that increases your damage. Like if you want to get the higher level upgrades, like you have to put a lot more statues into it or a lot more UDC into it. And my answer is probably no. Or at least not to the point that they had recommended of trying to get to like level 5, 6, 7, just because the investment's really high. And we can take a look at what that investment looks like to kind of get a better idea. It's like the cost of the depth first means that you need to invest a whole lot. Now the pro is that like you do get those big power increases like we saw, where when you get to like level 5 or you level 6, level 7, you do get a much greater value of power. However, the con is that it just takes a tremendous amount of money and or time. So looking at just comparing like the numbers wise, how many of things do you need? So for our legendary level statues, like to get to level 1, conveniently, you only need the 1 statue. So that's pretty straightforward. That's pretty easy. But to go to level 1 to level 2, you need 2 statues. Still not too bad. To go from level 2 to 3, whoop, did I skip one? Yeah, I did. Yeah, going from 2 to 3 is you need 6 statues. And then from going to 3 to 4, you're going to need 18 statues. And I think I have one more. Yeah, to go from level 4 to level 5, you need 54 statues. So you can see how the number increases. It's not quite linear, where it's not like, oh, you just need double of whatever you had before, but rather it's not quite exponential either. So it's not making just like massive leaps, but it's like somewhere in between. It's still a lot to get those bigger values. So the cost does go up. Now, talking about breadth first, is that basically the idea there is to try to get as many new statues as you can. You can see that I'm still missing quite a few here. Some of those are available in the box. But you want to try to get as many new statues as you can. Now, the pros to that are you're going to get quicker increases to power because the cost of upgrading is much lower. Whether you do that through getting duplicates of the statues by opening, the golden boxes, or by using your UDC to increase that level, it doesn't matter, but the cost is ultimately lower. Now, those smaller increases do add up. That's another pro. And you can use smaller amounts of UDC for those more meaningful increases. So to get from level 1 to level 3, you only need 9 copies of a given statue. And like the equivalent of that is like you do need like the 1 statue initially to start off, and then like 8 more, and you can call like 8 more statues. It's I think about 1,040 UDC. So that's like, the little increase from there. Now, how much is like 1,000? Like you can, spend time and go through the shop. I've detailed some ways to do that in our shop video, which was the last one. Or you can go through, I think it's the weekly deal. And like somewhere in here, this guy here, the weekly decoration collection, to get 1,000 UDC is going to cost you, if you want to pay for it through here. There's other methods that you can get it a little bit cheaper if you're willing to be more patient. But if you want to pay through here, it's going to be $100 off the rip. And that'll get you to level 3, which is a totally reasonable level to be at. I don't recommend buying the weekly decoration collection because you can get decor components, the UDC, through other means, through just regular play and like a little bit of patience. It takes you longer for sure, but I say take your time, work those other opportunities, as they're not as expensive. But to get an idea, to go from level 3 to level 4, you would need to buy this twice. And I think you would still be a little bit shy because it's like a little bit over 2,000 UDC to get 18 statues. I think it's like maybe 2,300. Let's do a quick back of the napkin math. It's like 18 times, 2,340. So still you come up a little bit short. Still big investment. So like for me, like, is there a happy medium between these two? And like there kind of is. I prefer to focus on breadth rather than depth, but I think that the target is about level 3 for your statues. Like I mentioned before, to get to level 3, you only need 9 copies, which is a statue plus I'll say your first statue plus 1,040 UDC. And additionally, when you look at, not that one. When you look at our legendary decoration box, a lot of the statues that are in here get their secondary stat increase at level 3. So with like a reasonable level of investment, you can get like a 1% damage reduction. Now, like the cost to get that extra 0.5 damage reduction from going level 3 to level 4 is another 18 of this statue. So would you rather, get 18 of this statue, or would you rather get 2 other statues that grant you a 1% damage reduction for like the same cost? If in terms of raw UDC, we'll talk about things in that method. But a lot of these will have a greater diversification of skills. You get a 1% skill boost damage increase here. You get a 1.5% crit damage increase at level 3 for here. So just getting the level 3 for multiple different statues is going to give you a pretty reasonable diversification of power increases, but also you still get like a pretty reasonable boost without needing to get, an additional 18 copies of the same thing, or at least, or 2k some odd UDC to get from level 3 to level 4. So for me, level 3 is like a good median target level for a lot of your statues. But like my teammate had asked, like, what do I prioritize first out of this set? And for me, like, that's going to be the Eternal Pyramid, like, all day, every day. In terms of like, what am I trying to get to level 3 first? And the reason being is because it's the only thing in this whole list, and it's the only statue that I'm aware of within, at least within the time frame that I'm at, where between seasons 1 and 2, that grant you a construction speed up. At level 3, this gives you a 15% construction speed up, which, as we talked about before, is very achievable. That does compound with your 20% construction speed increase that you can use your engineering skill for, as well as the 50% increase from the capital buff. So that's an 85% increase to your construction speed by just having this statue at level 3. And another thing is that this statue doesn't have any time constraints. So you don't have to worry about, do you have the buff up, or can an ally give it to you, or how long is the line for the construction buff, especially on build day for our VS challenge. Like, this is a 15% construction speed up all day, every day, all the time. So for me, that was why this was an immediate pick. Once I saw this was in the game, I was like, I got to figure out how to get it, and I got to get one. And fortunately, you can use your universal decor components for this, your UDC. There are a couple of statues that you can't. I don't have everything in this list, but I think that there's some stuff that you can't use. I can't find where I put it, but I think there's one little statue that I think is in the list that you can't use it for. I can't find it, but no big deal. But I think most of the things that are in that list, you can use your UDC to upgrade. The second thing I want to give a big shout out to is Pumpkin Panic. funny name, fun to say. But this one I call out because it gives you, at level 3, 4 different stats that it increases. Most notably, one of them being a 1% increase damage to monsters. And it's my understanding that damage to monsters does take effect for doing stuff like the rampage bosses, or like the other bosses that attack the capital and other stuff like that, or the special event things. I believe that buff does compound into attacking those enemies as well. And when you're combining that with, maybe a 1% buff from a banner that you got, or, a 5% buff from like a base upgrade thing that you got, like, those increases do add up to be pretty substantial at the end of the day. So for me, what I would think to prioritize is going breath first for sure. And then using your UDC to continue to upgrade the various other statues that you have. So what I'll be doing is using this box to like grab some of these other statues that I don't have, but my UDC, at least until I can get this up to level 3, I'm throwing straight to the Eternal Pyramid. Then I'll work on the Pumpkin Panic, and then I'll work on some other stuff. Probably, I'm thinking the Torch Relay, just because I want that 1% damage reduction. I'm not sure. I looked through the rest of them. I don't see anything like a percent crit chance increase, but there is crit damage. So crit damage could also be another solid play. Let me know what you think in the comments. Do you think that folks should prioritize damage reduction or crit damage? Let me know. But that's what I'm thinking. That's probably what I'll do. That's what makes sense to me. So yeah, I just want to say thanks for watching. As usual, if it helped you out, feel free to drop a thanks in the comments. Feel free to like the video, subscribe, and share, and all that sorts of stuff. If you disagree with my strategy, also feel free to drop a comment. That's how I think we learn the most, by comparing our differing strategies. Also, maybe you're later in the gameplay and you're aware of something that comes out soon that changes the way that we should think about the statues. So feel free to share that as well. Again, I just want to thank you guys for watching and commenting. We hit our 100 subscribers, which is fantastic, and we got new videos on the way this week. So we're going to keep on making them. We're going to keep on talking, and we're going to keep on learning. So thanks for everybody for watching, and have a good one.